Hi, excited to be joined by Braun and Wissam from BigID today. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. I'd love to get your input on the AI hype cycle is obviously in full swing, but there's so much concern and discussion around as we're using all of this data, how do we start to secure it? Looking at kind of those guardrails. And I'd love, Brad, to get your thoughts on what are the challenges that people are facing.
Sure, Robin, thank you for having us. We're at BigID, we look at the challenge across the industry in what we call the 4 V's. Number one, the velocity of data and the rate at which it's changing has accelerated. The volume of data, I think we all know that the volume of data has
There's always hero slides, regardless of where it is. There's Zeta of something of something.
Exactly. And the variety of data, not only structured, unstructured, semi-structured data sources, but also the variety of data mandates and regulations to control and make sure that companies are compliant is increasing. All of that combined, the 4th V is really about data vulnerabilities. If you don't understand where your data is, how to access it, and how to manage it, you're not going to be able to manage it that well. Right, and therefore vulnerabilities happen. So those are the kind of the industry challenges, the backdrop for some of the data challenges that our customers are facing.
That's great input because we think about AI happening, but you have to think about really and protect that data that's underneath it and empowering those insights. Wissam, I'd love to get your input and some description around how is BigID helping your customers be able to do that?
Yeah, so it's a lot of several addressing the scale that we're talking about, and there's a human here. It's in the middle of doing manual work, manual discovery, manual classification, really knowing where the crown jewels are at the scale that we're talking about will require automation, will require some form of AI-based classifiers. That's where BigID comes in. BigID is a data intelligence platform, AI-based classifiers, be able to classify your data, and we have customers using BigID at petabyte scale, and they're about to start developing enterprise AI applications. And so they want to know exactly what to feed into the AI models that's secure and does not contain highly sensitive, highly risky data. So we're exposing that. We'll give you the insights where all that data is, and even throughout the data lifecycle, for AI data preparation and training, we're in there. We go and then discover and classify that data you're about to use for AI, and we give you the risk that involved before you take that decision through all this, through automated action and automated discovery.
Really helping the customers protect their vulnerable data, but also being able to start with confidence on the AI journey. What do you feel is really the special sauce, or the 1 to 3 things that maybe sets BigID apart from how others may be approaching this in the industry?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I think for one, it's understanding where is all of our data. So one of the things that separates, I think, BigID is the fact that we have the ability to access so many different types of data across the enterprise to give that full 360-degree view of your data landscape, whether that's in the cloud, on-prem, in a hybrid cloud environment, structured, unstructured, it doesn't matter. So it starts with that, is the visibility. And then as Wissam mentioned, it's the accuracy with which you can classify and index all of that data so that you can find exactly what you're looking for across the myriad number of data sources that you have in the enterprise. So that is another key, I think, capability that really sets BigID apart. And then third, I'd say it's helping organizations that are struggling with adopting AI, Gen AI, in production because they're concerned about the quality of the data and what's being fed into those models. If you understand what data you have, what's being fed into those models, which models exist across the enterprise, you then can, as you said, approach Gen AI with confidence and unleash the value of data, because you know the data that you care most about is protected.
I think one thing you touched on there, it's that confidence. Being able to help our customers be confident in what they're putting forward, as well as creating those guardrails for them to be able to ensure that they're not having vulnerable leakages of data, but that they're using it appropriately and responsibly.
Exactly.
So excited you're now part of Unleash AI, but would love your input as to why you're working with HPE and why you joined Unleash AI.
I'll kick things off. We're super excited to be joining HPE's Unleash AI program. We believe that together with HPE, that we can identify and help organizations accelerate their adoption of AI, but do it in a responsible way. And again, it starts with understanding the data. And so we're BigID, what we provide, I think, to the HP ecosystem is the context around the data and where that, that sensitive data resides, so that organizations can embrace AI on the best platform there is, and that is HPE's AI infrastructure with NVIDIA.
And also around, like, HPE has amazing the data fabric and all the infrastructure around data, moving data. BigID is a perfect fit there as the layer to give you that visibility and observability around all that data movements that you have across all that infrastructure. So that's where BigID will play a big role here to give you that confidence, right, to the customer confidence around the data protection. That, okay, your data infrastructure is protected, but what about the users and the business users and the analysts who are using that data on top of that hardware? Do we trust them, right? And that's where BigID can give you that visibility and continuous observability around that data.
I love really the focus that you bring on not just responsible by AI, but how to help customers use their data and all of their data in a safe and secure way, and maybe even with more knowledge as they start to build out AI. Any final thoughts that you'd like to share?
Well, I think, certainly it's about helping organizations, number one, adopt responsibly, two, move those workloads into production, get more value from the data. And so examples in which we can, help them do that is to protect or mask or, de-identify that sensitive information using an open API platform that allows us to reach across the ecosystem to leverage the best in breed technology, encryption technologies, masking technologies, to ensure that organizations have the best of protection at their fingertips when they embrace AI.
Yeah, and we encourage everyone to try. You can try BigID. We can work together on setting that up, and we're also a validation today with HPE as well. And yeah, that's we can jump on that right away.
Well, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robin.